What manner of persons ought ye to be? Giving all praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kodash. And this is from 2 Peter 3, verse 11. But I'm going to start from the 10th verse and read down maybe past the 12th verse into the 13th, maybe the 14th verse, or maybe the end. Let's see what happens. But let me just go ahead and read it. It says 2 Peter 3 verse, bear with me for a minute, 3 verse 10. Now if you go to the Blue Letter, what they did a new thing, they did this a while back, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. Anyway, they give you headlines, and they'll give you like two verses, the two verses below that, like it'll say the first two verses, the headline would be purpose of this letter. Oh, well, let me read that. That's good. This first verse says a whole lot. It says 2 Peter 3 verse 1. This second epistle or letter, beloved, which are the Israel of the Most High, pursuant to Galatians, the 6th chapter. It says, I now write unto you, which is the elect, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. We used to read this scripture a lot. And remembrance means what? That you were in this in a previous life. That's a reincarnation scripture precept right there. Okay, so it says this second epistle, stir up your pure. Okay, I wanted to look up stir.
Strong's G 1326. De
gyro, which means to wake up, awaken, arose or arouse from sleep. Because we all been put in a deep sleep, all of us. What precept comes to mind immediately is Matthew 25. And there was a cry heard. So the cry is to stir you up. And the ones that hear this cry and respond to the cry and get up are the Israelites. Now some are going to get up and they're going to go right back to sleep. Some are going to get up and they're going to stay up. Some are going to get up and get drowsy, but they're going to stay up. We had a situation, goes back maybe a couple of weeks ago, of a brother that's been in this thing from the beginning that had kind of starting to drowse off and go back to sleep. So he basically got disciplined for it. But I met the brother, beloved brother. What he needs to do is, at this time, this is when you go on a fast, when for the Most High to build up your spirit, for the Most High to give you answers, because you're afflicting your soul by not eating and drinking, because you're not giving attention to the flesh. When you don't eat anything for a day or two, all you're thinking about is eating. But if you do it on your own, that means you're showing the Most High, look, I need you to restore me. I need you to give me answers. And I even You know, I'm not thinking about a woman. I'm not thinking about food. I'm not thinking about water. And I'm in a little bit of a pain, of pain. And that's when the Most High will grant you these things, to open your eyes to things. Because this is not, we're not in the time of getting weak. The Apostle Paul spoke about how you grow in this thing. Grow is a process. Hey, LeBron James wouldn't be on the level that he is now when he was in his freshman year of high school or junior high school. He was a good, potentially great player, but there's a process. He even said that on 60 Minutes. This was a while. This had to be, I don't know, 15 years ago. This is when he first signed with it was a Cavaliers, because he was out of Ohio, and they had a 60-minute spot, and he did a 3-pointer. He just did it, and the Edomite was there interviewing him, and he was all amazed. And he said, this is all a process. And the fact that I was able to hit that 3 was all a process. So a process meaning you grow. You know, fruits and vegetables, they grow. Banana, for example. You get yellow bananas, you can't eat them bananas, they don't taste right. You got to wait until the banana gets black spots, or even turn, I like them when they turn black. Like damn near completely black, like they look like they no good. That's when they're at their sweetest. That's what a banana tastes like. Anyway, this is a process. This is a process. So here you are, you went through the process, you went through the growth, and all of a sudden you thinking maybe I'm in the wrong thing, I can't do this no more. Well, your faith is very weak. You better pray your ass off, fast if need be, and dedicate this, make this the first thing in your the first priority of your life, man. And that's why I said, you know, at one time I said, brothers should do 3 videos a week. Nah, brothers should do videos every day if need be. And anybody that gets mad at it, you're not a man of the Lord. And I'm not going to check, well, let me go check this guy, see if he's doing his, oh, he missed 2 days, let me get on his, no, I don't do that. Anyway, you know what? Let me see if I can find this other precept. I'm almost positive where it is. Oh, it came right, went right to it. Hebrews 3 verse 13. I knew it was in Hebrews 3, but I wasn't sure of the verse. Oh, no, you know what it says in the headline? It says the peril of unbelief. The peril of unbelief. So you can believe in this thing and then fall off, and you fall into peril. You know what I got to do? That's the 12th verse, Hebrews 3 verse 12. I got to start at the 10th verse. And so, wherefore I was grieved with this generation, and said, they do always err in their heart, in their mind. And that's why the Apostle Peter said, this epistle I write unto you to stir up your pure minds by reason of remembrance. Because you got people that come into this this truth, and they'll put in how many 5 years, 10 years, however many years, and a lot of them, when they leave, you know what they do? They go right back, as it says in 2 Peter 2 verse, you can start at 20 to 22, and that's a whole another subject. You know, them that turn their back on the plow, not fit for the kingdom. Anyway, they go back to the vomit. They go back to being a Christian. They'll go back to the church. They remember when their parents took them to church on Sundays, and they go right back to the church, and they go right back to sleep. This is a great awakening, and the awakening is only for the elect. Now you're gonna have Israelites that are gonna awaken. They're gonna go back to sleep. They're gonna be your worst enemies. They're gonna learn the scriptures so much where they can twist the scriptures around and use it against you. You know, it says in Matthew, what is that? Matthew 7, cast not thy pearls on the swine, neither give that which is holy unto the dogs, for they will stamp. I'm paraphrasing. You can read it. Trample on what you give them, which is the truth, and then they'll come and rend you. So you just can't give this truth to any old body. This is only for the elect. Anyway, 10 verse again. Wherefore I was grieved with this generation, and said, they do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. That's why a lot of them that come into this thing, it goes into the bitter and the sweet. Eat this roll, and it shall be in your mouth sweet as honey, and in thy belly it shall be bitter. That was told unto John, and that was also told unto Ezekiel. Now, was it Ezekiel? You can correct me. Was it Ezekiel that had a wife he was all into this woman, and the Most High took his wife and told Ezekiel, whether it was Ezekiel or one of the prophets, don't mourn her. Don't mourn her. Because you got to remember, the prophets came out of various ways of life. Like in today, you have brothers in the camp that could have been a Marine, or could have been a college person, or could have been a person that worked on a garbage truck, or could have been a gangbanger or drug dealer, or whatever. They all come out of different walks of life. Anyway, let me read on. It says, so I swear in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest. And that the rest is the kingdom. They'll come into the rest, but they're going to have to come into the rest as newborn babies. Now it says the headline, the peril of unbelief. Hebrews 3, verse 12. And this topic that I'm in is really dealing with prophecy. And this pretty much, I'm going to focus a lot on prophecies. I'm going to go back into the basics, which are not the basics of some of this stuff that I'm going to go into is basic to me. I'm going to go into these breakdowns, these interpretation of the prophetic scriptures. Because I, came across, this is going on 2 weeks, a video that Elder Barak of the HODC put up, where he called himself breaking down Revelation, the 12th chapter, and he totally botched the whole chapter. I mean, he was all over the place. Actually, you know what? You know what actually happened? Let me give you bring up another tab here. Okay, this is Isaiah 28 verse 8. Let me go a couple of verses above that. I'll start at the 7th verse. Isaiah 28 verse 7. I'm kind of deviating to some other precepts because the Spirit is leading me to these other precepts. The main topic that I want to get into is prophecies, and y'all gonna be tested. You men, if you're watching the video in New York, y'all are gonna be tested, and I urge you in the other GMS camps to test the men that are under you. You know, test them on the prophetic scriptures, because Esau understands prophecy, and you're going to see that in a minute as you see on the screen. There's a list of scriptures dealing with prophecy that Esau put together. See, Esau knows what's going on, but they like to put themselves in the picture as them being children of the Most High, which they're not. Anyway, it says in Isaiah 28 verse 7, but they also have erred through wine, and wine meaning philosophies. You know, you can take the scripture, which is good wine, and turn it into bad wine by not breaking it down and giving the people wine in a glass, which is the scriptures, but it's not good wine, and the wine will make them sick or kill them. And that's exactly what Baraka, Elder Baraka, the HODC did. He gave them bad wine. Some of them are going to die from that wine. Some of them are going to get sick from that wine. Some are going to realize that, oh, I got sick because Barak gave me this wine, so I'm no longer going to go around. I'm going to go someplace else where there's good wine. Because the truth is also wine. The truth is also water. The truth is oil. Matthew 25, 10 virgins, 5 are wise and 5 are foolish. The foolish are the ones that fell out through the years. And them same guys, that individuals that fell out back when the splits came, before the year 2000, and a lot of those guys, they watch our videos. They don't show their face, and a lot of them are scoffers. And scoffers are necessary, because the Most High said in the last days there's going to be scoffers, man. Anyway, let me come back to the 7th verse. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. Oh, another group that come to mind is GOCC. They're really messing you up with strong drink, which is mermaids and the Book of Enoch and that book, and the Edomites can make it. Hell, if you die and you ain't right with the Most High, you go into hell, and that's something that Yeshaya teaches. So Yeshaya, one of the 7, the Lord ain't dealing with Yeshaya, because he's teaching that there's a thing called hell. And look, where's the 7? Priest Zabak, where's the 7? You made a statement. You didn't mention my name, but you were talking about us, but that's all right. I'm not offended by it. You said that mark of the beast thing. See, they wouldn't bring that up against the 7, because they'll be straightened out. No. They would be straightened out. If I brought it up, they would be straightened out. And if they said, look, if you keep teaching this, you out. I said, goodbye. See you, and I wouldn't want to be you. Okay, the mark of the beast is the most important prophecy before the destruction, man. Just like going back more than 2,000 years ago when John the Baptist was on the scene, you know what the people were saying? They were saying, that's the Messiah, that's the Messiah. But then this Messiah actually came up and received baptism through water by John. And then the Spirit came down and said, this man, that's the man. So the people were confused. Anyway, coming back to this, it says, I'm going to start from the top, Isaiah 28, verse 7. But they also have erred through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. When somebody teaches that the mark of the beast is something other than what we teach it is, because we're teaching it correctly, real talk, you need to pack up and get the F out of there, man. You need to run. And you really need to run to GMS. You really need to run to GMS and ask and beg that you be in GMS camp. And we might say no, but guess what? You're welcome to watch the videos. You don't gotta be in the camp to get this knowledge. You don't gotta be in the camp. The ultimate goal is to be a part of a camp, or should I say company? Let me change that word to company. It's a company of prophets that Saul was with. He's with a company of prophets. So we're going to slowly transition from the word camp to company. But we're still going to say camp. Anyway, it says let me read that again. I like the way it rolls off the tongue. Isaiah 28, verse 7. But they also have erred through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. They're out of the way. The priest and the prophet, the priests and the ones that call themselves priests, high priests, and the ones that call themselves prophets have erred through strong drink, through these errors. They are swallowed up of wine, meaning bad wine, wine that makes you sick, wine that kills you, tainted wine, poisonous wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision, they stumble in judgment. So the vision is when somebody asks them, what is the mark of the beast? Because GMS says that it's the mark. Nope, it's not. It's Christianity, it's an embargo, it's sleeping with white women. It says, for all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Because when I heard Barack call himself breaking down Revelation 12, it was basically, I saw him in my mind's eye just throwing up all over the table. And then the people that were listening was just lapping up the vomit. It goes on to say in 9th verse, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine, them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? So this man still should be sucking on milk. He still should be sucking on milk. He should go, and he's not going to do that because of pride. See, pride is going to get a lot of y'all killed for teaching this crap and this nonsense that you're teaching. And the main thing that you're teaching right now is the mark of the beast is something other than the microchip. Now, I was sent a video by Apostle Ryan Lob, which I already saw the video the other day, so he sent it to me, I saw it again, about certain rich nations getting the max more than poor nations. But ultimately, all nations are going to, so they're kind of protesting it. Well, look, poor nations should get it too, not just rich nations. Anyway, we all know what that whole thing is going to lead to. Unless they scrap it and throw it out in a couple of years, everything go back to normal, then they use something else. But we'll see. The scriptures say, watch. Anyway, let's come back to where am I at? Okay, 2 Peter 3, verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, because we had this before. Stir up means to wake up, awaken, arouse from sleep. Matthew 25, of the sea, which begins to be agitated, right? Agitated. When a storm comes, the sea gets agitated. To rise, to arouse the mind, stir up, render active, render active. And then you got these precepts here. Anyway, let's come back to 2 Peter 3, verse 1. It says, to stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. Second verse, that ye may be mindful of the words, all the words, 100% of the words, the perfect words, which was spoken before. Because in the first verse, it says, stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. Second verse, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets. The most important thing that we're supposed to be doing now is looking into the prophecies, the current prophecies. That was even given to Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 16 and 19. It said, for in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operations of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, ending meaning the end. So King Solomon was a king. He was also our Lord, and he was also a prophet. When he was King Solomon, the Most High showed him, opened his mind to a lot of spiritual things, and he showed him the end. He showed Solomon the mark of the beast. He showed him the kingdom of heaven. He showed him the destruction. It says 18 verse, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alteration of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the position of stars. Okay, let's come back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to the 10th verse, 2 Peter 3, verse 10. Now the headline on the blue letter says a new heaven and earth. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, but not unto us, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. And that's taught, and we identified that as the ICBM missiles and the lasers from the chariots as we're getting beamed up. This is what, see, if you read these prophetic scriptures, you wouldn't fall off unless you are not a part of the chosen elect. Many are called, but few are chosen. If you're not a part of the elect, you're going to fall off. You can have the best garment on the earth. You know, you can know precepts. Till the cows come home. Hey, like, give you a good example. Yashawan, he was like a precept man. He'll say, give me this precept and hold that precept and hold this and give me that. And you just knew this man was a man of the Lord. And guess what? He fell out. The scriptures say in John, out of thy belly shall flow rivers of living water. So you can't, if you don't want to prophesy and you're a prophet, guess what? You're going to prophesy anyway. You say, I'm not going to go out on the highway. You're going to be going to work on the train. You're going to start prophesying on the train. And people are going to think you bugged out. If you're a prophet of the Lord, the Most High puts in you that spirit. And it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It says 11 verse, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, meaning this, what things are going to be dissolved? This current system. What manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and powerliness? In other words, what are you supposed to be talking about? These prophecies. And like I said, you're going to be tested more. You know, when we do we'll see how the spirit goes. At the closing of the camp, we're going to be testing you as to see if you know, because you got to know all the prophecies. You got to know the whole book. But you can figure out things like if you read Psalms is pretty much self-explanatory, even though there's prophetic things in the Psalms, but the writings, Psalms, Ecclesiasticus, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Song of Solomon. Well, Song of Solomon is like Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, but more prophetic, double meanings, triple meanings in that book. But I always say you got to know Isaiah, you got to know Jeremiah, you got to know about Obadiah, you got to know if you don't know all those breakdowns, all those interpretations of all the prophetic scriptures, then you really shouldn't be in the camp. So you're gonna be pressed on it, because we don't want to hear you do a video and you sounding like Barack. Barack, boy, he needs to go back, put them diapers back on, and go ahead and suck on the titty. And that titty is the scriptures, man. See, and another thing about these dudes, these other camps, they don't watch our videos. They'll watch our videos, see what they said? See, they going off on. They're not watching our videos saying, well, why did Tahar and the GMS say that you can rape? Instead of getting emotional like a goddamn woman, you know, which we have a lot of sisters that follow us that are not emotional, man. And we've been cursing out the women for years, but we still got women that come on the page and we still curse them out. Look, don't be quoting no scriptures. Just give us a shalom and that's it. Cause hey, but they get in line. Those with some of the righteous sisters back in the past, coming back in. Cause the way we speak, we shouldn't have no sisters following us. But guess what? We do have sisters or women that follow our videos, man, and praise what we say. So this is a spiritual thing. And another thing, the elect, women are part of the elect. Children are a part of the elect. Babies are a part of the elect. It says, seeing, 11 verse again, seeing then that, now I had a lineup of scriptures I wanted to go into, but this is going to be long. So this is going to be like an ongoing series. I might not go as far. You want to make a little 15, 20-minute video and it wind up being an hour, 53 minutes or whatever. But anyway, this is all through the Spirit. Anyway, it says, seeing then that all these, but know one thing, you will be tested, you will be cornered as to whether you know all these breakdowns, man. Seeing then, 11 verse, that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and powerliness? Meaning you're supposed to be talking about this and watching the news. I did a video the other day on this Nord Stream 2, and I read the article. I spent about the first 20 plus minutes reading the article, and then I went right into the precepts. And I linked up the precepts with the article. Basically, that whole, and you should watch that video. Watch the whole video. Because like I said, the second half I go into the precepts. But that was a perfect example of how Babylon rules over the kingdoms, rules over the nations, and they do it through sanctions. See, now, if they want to accept this vaccination, this is all pointing, the fingers are all pointing to Babylon the Great. They had a meeting. They said, well, look, you gotta give your people this max. You gotta give them the jab, and if you don't, we're gonna bring sanctions against you. And then these nations get right in line, man. So these European Union nations, EU nations, they're backing up from that deal. And that was a deal with Russia and the EU nations, because they had a deal going for a pipeline. And the pipeline is almost 800 miles under the sea. So that's a lot of, and they started building it back in 2018. So we're talking about 2.5 years, going on 3 years. And they had a lot of, they have invested a lot into it, a lot of money into it, a lot of manpower into it. Certain people had died. So now these nations are backing off because of what the U.S. said, the sanctions that they're going to threaten them with. And ultimately, that's going to cause them to do what? Destroy this place. The main thing that's going to destroy this place is those allied nations that possess missiles. Now it says in the 12th verse, looking for, 2 Peter 3 verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of, now somebody said hastening meaning you gay. No, hastening, well, guess what? Peter's gay. It said looking for and hastening unto the coming, you know what, let me look up the word hastening.
Strong's G 4692, Spudo.
That's where you get the word speed. That we want the Most High to hurry up and come and deliver us. It said to haste, make haste, to desire earnestly. Earnestly. So it says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. 13 verse, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because this current kingdom, what dwells in this current kingdom? Total wickedness, man. It says, wherefore, 14 verse, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So the individual I was talking about in the beginning of the video, he's weak right now in the faith. So he has to build himself up. He has to fast. He has to watch these videos. And there's no way in hell I can be weak in this thing, because I read the scriptures and I see these things coming to pass. When the jab thing came, immediately I said, that's it. That's it, man. That's it. Because Esau can't tell you, oh, we're going to give you, they can't tell you, look, this. So when are you other slow-ass camps going to wake the hell up? Let me jump down to the 16. You can read the 15th verse. I'm not going to read it. It says, as also in his epistle speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrestle. The word is rest, but it means wrestle. As they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. So going back to the example of Barak, or Elder Barak, mangling Revelation the 12th chapter, he's doing it unto his own destruction. If he doesn't repent, the Most High is going to destroy him, man, because he's leading people away, astray. Seventeenth verse, ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware lest ye also, being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. '18th verse said, but grow in grace. But grow in grace. So this is a process. Ye have need that one teach you again, which would be the first principles and oracles of the Most High, and have such as need of milk. So I'm going to look up the word steadfastness.
Strong's G 4740, sterigmas. Sterigmas.
Which means firm condition, steadfastness of mind. So if you're going to get weak in the faith, this is not the year to be getting weak in the faith. 2021 is not the year to be getting weak in the faith. Anyway, let me see where I'm at. Okay. You've been seeing this on the screen. It said prophecy scriptures. This is the Edomite-based site. And they just give you a whole list of prophetic scriptures, meaning that Esau does... unlike the so-called black church, which is the biggest joke in the world and on the planet, they don't know anything about prophecy. They will not go into prophecies at all. They will not break down, they will not touch the book of Revelation. They will not touch the book of Daniel. All Jake does in the so-called black church is sing, dance, and act a goddamn fool. The scriptures call that a harlot houses. It's the biggest joke going. They have a zeal towards the Most High, but not according to knowledge. With their lips they do honor me, but their heart is far from me. And their fear towards the Most High is taught by the precept of men, meaning these jackboot, pork chop eating niggas. Clowns like T.D. Jakes and what's this guy? Creep Low Dollar. Most High gonna destroy every last one of them niggas. Anyway, so in this list, I'm just gonna read off the list right here. It says Joel. So this is a list of prophetic scriptures. Joel 2 verse 30 and 31. Wonders in the heavens and the earth. We're living in that time. Everybody's having dreams, and then you're gonna keep looking into the heavens. You're going to see a lot of things in the heavens, the chariots and so forth. Ezekiel 37, prophecy of dry bones concerning Israel, a regathering, which is happening right now, and that's what Esau is afraid of. Esau sees it. Ain't no so-called Jews on the highways and the byways with a 12 tribe sign. They ain't the people. Although there will be some of them that are actually Israelites that look like so-called, like Edomites. Isaiah 66 verse 8. Can a nation be born in a single day? Where this prophecy was fulfilled. Ezekiel 38 verse 8. First Gog-Magog war, which we know that that's talking about the Russians getting ready to shoot missiles on this place, led by the former European allies of the U.S. Daniel 7:24, 10-nation alliance, which is also in Daniel 2. Daniel 8, verse 23 to 25, which it says Antichrist. Well, that one you can scratch that out because Daniel 8, the whole chapter Daniel 8 already took place already. Daniel the 8th chapter has nothing to do with current day prophecy. This is something that already took place. What does it say? Isaiah 42 and 9 and Isaiah 46 and 10. Read those two precepts. Daniel 9 verse 27, the peace covenant with Israel, that already took place. You know, these clown-ass Christians say that's the 7-year tribulations period. No. Daniel 9 chapter already took place. Daniel 9 verse 27, Daniel 9 verse 24 to 27, Daniel 70 weeks. See here for an explanation of the 70 weeks, which they don't understand. That already took place. The end of that Daniel the 9th chapter, 24th to the 27th verse, or to the end of the chapter, that took place. That was fulfilled more than 2,000 years ago. Daniel 12 verse 11, timing of the abomination of desolation, that already took place. That already took place. Zechariah 14, the coming of the day of the Lord, that's getting ready to come past. Zechariah 14 and 12. Really, that whole chapter. Malachi 4, the great day of the Lord, that's talking about Abba coming on the scene. You had the ISUPK saying that John fell out the truth. He didn't fall out the truth. He fulfilled prophecy, man. They also call him the forerunner of the Lord. Daniel 24, which Esau calls the Olivet discourse or discussion. Because in the 3rd verse they said, when shall these things come to pass, and when shall the end of the world come, and when is thy coming? So in Matthew 24, the Lord spoke about 2 events, 70 AD, the sacking of Jerusalem, and the actual destruction. Matthew 25, starting at the 1st verse on down, parable of the 10 virgins. We're in the time of the parable of the 10 virgins. John 14, preparing a place for us in heaven, that's the kingdom, which is getting ready to come. 1 Corinthians 15, twinkling of an eye, when we're changed, and that's when the people are talking about, are we in the new covenant? No, we're not in the new covenant. Even though the Lord was the mediator for the new covenant, he is the new covenant, but the fulfillment of the new covenant is when the Most High changes us, and that's in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 51 to 52. 1 Thessalonians 1 verse 9 to 10, deliver us from the wrath to come. Right, the wrath is not here yet. 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13 to 18. The key word here is harpazo, means to seize, carry off by force, to snatch out or away, meaning we're going to be beamed up. That's talking about. That's talking about the ships. And the dead will be reanimated into their bodies, and they're going to be individuals like Mashar, Yaquab, Abba, and many others that have died in this truth, that their works do follow them. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 1, a thief in the night do not be overtaken. Right, because it's not going to come to us as a thief because we're constantly looking up into the heavens and watching the news. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 9 to 10, not destined for wrath. Right, we're not destined for wrath if we stay in the faith. The ones of you that fall off, you're destined for wrath. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 1 to 5, the apostasy comes first. Apostasy means falling away, defection, to forsake. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 6, the restrainer and the mystery of lawlessness, which who Esau is, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 11, deluded to believe a lie, strong that ye may receive strong delusion that ye may believe a lie. So that's why you have a lot of these people going to these other camps, and whatever their camp leader said, they blindly follow. Strong delusion that they may believe a lie. And they're stumbling blocks. Revelation, whole book, church age and future events of tribulation, resurrection, 1,000-year reign, which is about to come, new heaven and a new earth. So anyway, I mean, you can do a bunch of topics just based upon this list here. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.